Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am the Gentleman and welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Pixel Club. Today we are playing a crash cover tape that I am loading in from a digital tape recorder. This is my tape recorder and I have an image of it here, and this is it loading in on the screen. I actually own the physical tape that you can see here, so this is what we're playing, all 4 games in one video for you. Digital tape recorders are great. They allow you, once you've got a copy of the image, to keep it preserved forever, and you can recreate, you can simulate the loading of the original game, which is something I like to do. I won't show this every time on the cover tapes, but I think once in a while it's worth doing. Loading this game, I was disappointed that there was no loading screen, so here is a picture of something to look at. These are all the crash cover tapes. I own a lot of them. It took me a while to collect, but finally I'm there and we will be working through all of these. I've done one review already for a crash cover tape, but I've updated the title slide to what you can see there, episode 1.1, and this is episode 1.2. So we're going to be going on a journey over time to work through every single cover tape. I own all the Crash ones, all your Sinclair ones, all your Spectrum ones, so I have a great archive to be working through, and we will get there in the end. I'm on Twitter, so feel free to follow me on Twitter, where you can see additional posts like I've done just there to share the information, share beyond the video releases that we do, other bits and pieces that you may or may not be interested in. This game has just finished loading due to the wonders of video editing, and we are now going to be playing this. So I look at this to look at the cover tape. Is it value for money? And actually there is a picture there. They could have used that on the loading screen. And this is Quandam by Ocean. And this was created by a couple of people, John Gibson and Karen Davis. And by God, it is a strange game. And when I look for value for money, the magazine cost £1.50, as you can see behind me on the screen. And I look at these games as 37.5p each of your English money. Back then in 1989, that was not much money for a game. You know, you had the £1.99 range, but you know, I'm just dividing the magazine up to see whether it'd be worth it, whether it wouldn't, and whether I would be happy with all of these games. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at each of these games in question in isolation and talk a little bit about it, play through all of them, and I'll let you know at the end of each game, would I have been happy for this game if I'd played the cover tape then. So Quandam is a puzzle game, and this is where things go a little bit wrong. I'm stuck in a very long tunnel and I'm hitting the space key to try and bring up the map that eventually comes up there, and it took a long time to respond, and I'm just stuck in this tunnel, no idea what's going on. In fact, I've got no idea really what I'm meant to be doing in the game as a whole. It is a puzzle game with strange dynamics. This is a city map of warehouses, and you can fly into warehouses to build a puzzle, to collect jigsaw pieces to make a puzzle. On the left hand side of the screen we have a timer that clicks down, shown by a grandfather clock for some reason, I've got no idea. And on the bottom right hand of the screen we've got compass directions for north, east, south and west. These are the 4 directions that you can fly your aircraft, your spaceship in, and we seem to be in a city when we get out of this damn tunnel, like now, where we can move around, do what we want, and the controls are quite interesting because I'm low to the ground at the moment, and you can get higher, so you know the plane can lift up, you can fly higher, and you can fly left and right. We've just flown into another warehouse where the puzzle game starts, and we then control this fly at the bottom that can move out the red space, collect pieces of puzzle, move them around and interlock them with each other. I have no idea what picture I'm trying to build here. You know, I've got a picture on the top right hand side of something which looks like a rocket and a spaceship and stuff. The puzzle being in monochrome because the Spectrum was at its best on the monochrome graphics when it tried to do clever detail like this, but I'm just stuck with this fly thing, trying to move it around, trying to do something. I was reading the instructions for this particular game. I had to take a look beforehand because it was like, what on earth is this? And I generally don't read the instructions, and this was the only one of the bunch that I played a close look at the instructions for, because I'm trying to recreate the world as if I was a young man back then, how I would have thought about this game, and I was still completely lost. The concept was absolutely bizarre. So the great main names of John and Karen who created this game, thank you very much, but really, what was going on in your mind? What I do like about this is the ship dynamics, as you can go up and down, as you can see me there. You can change your height, and as you flip around, it does that nice little bit of animation here. And if you want to turn, you move to the left and right of the screen, which then changes your direction, as you can see. So I flipped from north to south back then, flying back into the warehouse, and it's not easy to control, but the animation of the flying through the city is pretty good. It seems that you can use your flyer to take pictures of the puzzle out of the warehouse that I'm doing at the moment, and then we're going to leave the warehouse to see what's back outside. And watch this, I'm flying east at the moment. I'm just checking the map, but I can change direction at some point, and if I do that, you will see that east change to another direction. So died there. So wait, and watch what we do. I'm now going south. So it doesn't feel natural what you're doing. The gameplay doesn't feel right. And am I enjoying myself? I'm confused. I'm really confused as I'm playing this game. And to have a game that's over 30 years old where you're confused, it shows that maybe this would have never been right for me. And would have I enjoyed this as a young person? I don't think so, but I'm persevering. I'm trying to work my way through this, trying to do something, trying to see something a little bit different. And all we're doing is hitting space to bring up the map there. And, am I having a lot of fun? No, not really. But what I am enjoying is these graphics that you see here. This is the making of actually something really good. I had no idea why I died there as well. I really don't. But those graphics are the making of something good. You could have done a really good shoot 'em up with the dynamics that you've got here in terms of the vertical up and down of the plane. And this is where I discovered that you can actually take bits of the jigsaw that you're building to make and bring them into another warehouse. But yeah, I'm not going to go much further with this game. It's not the best game for me. So does it get a thumbs up? Does it get a thumbs down for 37.5p? Would I have brought that back then? The answer, unfortunately, is no. So this is One Man and His Droid, the next game on the tape. And there's a strange error. Look at the back of the cassette. You will see that One Man and His Droid is missing here. They listed a different game by Mastertronic. So the editing process for those people that created the labels on the cassette, they put the copyright for a different game on the back, and that's just a little bonus bit of information here. Didn't search for it particularly, I just found it when I was looking at the cassette, and we're going to go straight into this game. I ever so briefly looked at the instructions for this, and I keep hitting fire here to try and make it do something, and all it does is pause. And this droid thing here, and it's trying to get used to it. I'm looking at this strange digger type thing that seems to be below it, and no idea what to do. Reading the instructions, it spoke about, I believe you had to herd stuff. I was trying to pay attention to them, but for a game that I guess was meant to be quite simple, it just went on and on and on and on. So I figured, let's try and play for yourself, try and figure out what you're doing. I'm trying to move up the map, but I'm getting caught in these sort of tidal waves of enemies that move from the left to the right. I don't even know if they are enemies, and they ram you into this wall, and you get this nasty blue flashing as you fall effectively to the bottom of the wall and have to start to climb up again. This game isn't easy. As I was hitting fire there to try and do something, and you're probably going to see me do it again and again. The instructions for a small £1.99 game were War and Peace, and they just lost my interest as I was doing it. But here I get to the top of the map and think, right, okay, got through that, we'll do something else. There must be another level to explore, but I'm moving along here, and you know what, there's no gap in the wall, so I must need to do something. But what the hell I need to do, I don't know. I hit fire to try and attack the objects, to try and do something, to try and grab them. I'm thinking maybe I need to herd them somewhere, maybe I need to move them somewhere. And then I'm trapped in this sort of little box where I end up being pushed all the way down. And this is hard. This is very hard. And to try and recreate the experience, as I say, of a young man playing the game again, to what would my initial thoughts be, this would have been turned off probably about 30 seconds ago, or not turned off. The next game would have been loaded. But I want to give it a chance. I want to persevere with it. So, we're going to push to see whether anything happens. A game can't be made this hard, because you know you do get hard games, but so complicated. You know, you don't have many controls to use this. You've literally got up, down, left, right, and I would save and fire, but all that does is pause the game and just let you have a little breather while you try and figure out what the hell is going on, and trying to also use it to attack enemies for some reason, and it just wouldn't get through my thick skull, these stupid hands of mine that would just push on the fire button. So there I am, trapped in the wall as we're falling down, but I see that vertical passage here and I'm thinking, can I get into that vertical passage on the left? Don't think I noticed that before. And go to it, no you can't. Hit fire there to try and do something, because that looks like a little house. No, not able to do anything on this. So hurrying all the way to the right to see if there's something there. I don't know whether this is one of those map games that kind of loops and loops and loops so you can do something. But at this point, you know, my silly little brain is becoming fried, and I'm thinking, as a second game on this cover tape, am I going to play any further? And the answer is no. And do I think I've got 37.5p's value of money? No. So we're on to the third game here. So we've had two failures in essence, in terms of they're not bad games for some people, but for me, they're just not for me. And this is Robot Messiah by Alphabatum. Never heard of that company before, never seen this game. And, you know, I need something to uplift me. I need something that's going to be good on this cover tape so I can feel that I have value for money. And when this loads, it was, hey, I like this. You know, this reminds me very initially of the screen of the graphics are not as pretty, let's be 100% clear on this. Ultimate Play the game had their own unique style of graphics that were absolutely superb, and it's not a particularly fast moving game in terms of you watch how your robot moves. And this game reminded me very much of Ultimate Underworld, and I was never a big fan of that originally, but later in life I did enjoy that game and it did appeal to me. And this game ticks every box. So I'm standing on the bullet here trying to pick that up, or at least I think it's a bullet, and the only controls are up, down, left, right and fire, and I seem to have no success in doing this while admiring the pretty little sprites that are everywhere, and soon learning that if you land in the water you also die immediately. So I'm going to have to jump that. It feels, or no, it doesn't feel, that's not the right words, it looks slow and clunky, but you know what, when you're playing this, it's not a bad game at all. It's actually quite nice. Very pleased to see on this level that now the path splits, so I can effectively go to the top right or I can go down the hole. So practicing my jumping a little bit, and then I see an object of interest, a gun. So right, maybe the bullets are for the gun, so we're going to grab the gun by hitting the fire button, and we get that in our inventory. When you hit fire, it just moves it around, it cycles around. So usual games like Attic Attack, stuff like that, the fire button will change the position of what you're carrying. So I now need bullets. So having a little trouble jumping up in the air, getting it right, because I was too close to that mushroom here, but really enjoying the colourful sprites, the prettiness of what you've got here. So get killed by those, or sorry, shoot that thing, because I could do it. And then, I think I shot it, then I can fire again. But take a close look at the bullet. Take a close look at where the bullet comes out and what the bullet looks like. That to me is an interesting shape for a bullet and an interesting position to be shot here. I think the people that wrote this game were having a private joke, because that looks to me like we are shooting phallic symbols at the enemy, and I'm sure that's not in the instructions, and maybe it's just my stupid mind to do this, but hey, you know, it's an interesting object to be using, an interesting object to be shooting. I do like the big enemy here as well. That reminds me of Saberwolf in terms of very early in the level, you basically have the start screen and you move up and you've got a wolf running on the passage above you, and it was clear in my mind that I wasn't going to be able to kill that enemy, but what the hell, you know, it's there, it's good. Firing away here quite happily, shooting my phallic symbols at the enemy and missing, and eventually my bullets run out and I haven't quite noticed where they are as I landed in the water and died. So this is game over on this. Would I play this again? Yes, I would. Is this value for money? Yes, it absolutely is. Which brings us on to the final game, a whole new ball game. Now, this is by Pete Cook, and this was a Crash exclusive game that was a sequel to one of his games called Brainstorm. I've never seen Brainstorm, but was quite excited to see what this game is, and it is a puzzle game. You've seen by a few games that I play that I'm not particularly good at some of the arcade games, but I may be better at puzzle games. And as soon as it loads, it's like, this looks really nice. You've got a custom font here. You know, it looks really pretty to have a look, and you know, the nice tunes on it as well. And I'm thinking, you know what, this could be a very, very good game. So what I do is I have a quick look at the options here, and I just want to be sure that we are using a Kempston joystick. So I go into view alter keys, and that is already highlighted. Of course, I never engage my brain because I'm bloody using the controller, which is set up as a Kempston joystick to be doing this. Stupidity from me. But hey ho, having a look at the rules, basically we have to capture all the energy pills by rolling the ball over them. So I had no idea what to expect here, and it says you control the path by using gates to do this. So we're going to jump straight into the game after we've looked at the scores, because I know now I have to have 100 to beat, which I'm going to do my very best to do. So play game. And then we see this, and it's okay, what's going on here? So the ball automatically comes out of the starting trap, and it shoots itself left, and it bounces across. It appears that we've got these three icons above us that we can click on that are very likely going to be doing something to control the ball. So I'm placing one there. And now I get the idea. It bounces it down and bounces it across. So this is a puzzle game where you are using these mirrors, these light reflectors, which are sort of at different angles that you've got to push to control where the ball goes and what it does. So trying to get used to the controls here. We've absolutely got time on our side. I'm thinking if I can bounce that ball down to the bottom of the screen where I've put one of those blocks, it's going to bounce up into the yellow the yellow passage and get those balls. So one more block to place, and we're going to watch our little victory as we clear a line of these. So ball goes down, ball goes left, ball goes up, and damn it, it hits the wall, not where I was expecting it to go. So this shows that you've got to have real precision on what we do. So we're going to put another one here, another reflector there, and the ball should go all the way up and get those yellow balls. Victory, we have done this. Good. Now we fully understand the dynamics of what we're doing. This ball is going to bounce left and right, so I put a reflector elsewhere to control it. Can't put it there on the launch ball or on the launch pad for it. So we have to wait for it to go all the way back around, because if it's going to head in one direction, it's going to head back in the other direction as well. So this looks like we've got this lined up perfectly to clear level 1. So ball goes down, ball goes right, and yep, level 1 will be cleared in a moment. Perfect. All energy pills collected, screen complete. So this is a whole new ball game by Pete Cook, and this is a Crash exclusive game. I looked at this and I was like, oh bloody hell, what is this? But hey, I've got an idea on what we need to do. So ball goes down, ball goes across, ball hits these mirrors, and then it hit that little blue thing where it's just come out of, and that seems to be a teleport. So okay, we've got a little bit of confusion on what we need to do here. And the teleport only seems to be working one way, because it passed back through this and hits the mirror. I was going to be pointing at the screen in a moment, but I thought that's going to be ridiculous. You are not going to be able to see this. But wait. That thing there, it hits and it goes one way when it came back. So okay, fair enough. So we're going to let it do its journey, and we're going to carefully put these mirrors. And what I'm trying to do on the bottom left hand side, when it gets in there, I'm trying to build the optimum platform for it to go round and do everything it needs to clear those. So little waiting game for the ball to come in. The ball is in and it bounces around, and I managed to clear those. So that's great. I've now got to get the ball out of that chamber. So we're just waiting, and it's out the chamber. Now I'm left with all the balls on the screen at the moment, so I don't have to worry about that little walk bit, that little special bit, and try and deal with what's left. I am absolutely loving this game. This is a brilliant game. This is a cracking game. And as I say, all the games on this cassette, you know, at 37.5p, even though of the British English money back then, it was a fair chunk of money for a magazine when you were a school kid. You know, would I have been happy with what I'm seeing on this tape now? Absolutely yes. The second side of the tape, side B, with these two games, Robot Messiah, not the one that it says on the back that I highlighted and showed you all, and this whole new ball game by Pete Cook, is worth its money to me. And this is what's interesting. This is why the cover tapes are so good. You get hidden gems, you get great games like this. This is a Crash exclusive. There was no commercial release for this, if you believe what it says in Crash. I would have paid money for this. This is a really, really good game. I absolutely would have paid money for this, and you know, this to me is worth the whole £1.50 on its own. And with that £1.50 you get a free magazine. I'm still struggling at the moment to figure out what I'm going to be doing with, you know, this ball. It is quite hard, and I need to, you know, get myself in a position where I can clear the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 yellow dots. It really shouldn't be that hard. I've still got plenty of time against me, so it's just careful positioning of my little reflectors, of my mirrors, and hopefully not going to take too long now. I haven't figured out in my mind what the red cross is. That seems to be health, but you know, we don't need health. And then I hit that wall. Ball trapped, lives left 1. That was unexpected. I should have known by it being a different colour there was going to be something there. So while I was whittering on about the health, thinking about, okay, what do I do there, my ball gets trapped in that little trap. So you've now got what looks like a basic puzzle game, which is all based on angles, based on, you know, mirrors, reflectors and everything else like this, with objects that clearly give you instant death. So what looks an easy game on the top level is not an easy game in any shape or form. So, little word on these videos while I mess about with the items that I've got on the screen here, figuring out where I'm going to put them so I can be victorious and move on to the next level. These cover tape videos take a long time to do. You're effectively doing 4 games in one review, and that is not a problem. I choose to do this. I love doing this for you. I generally do, but they take a long time. So you're not going to get these every week. You know, might be once every couple of weeks, you know, when I've got a decent chunk of time to do this. It's not just about playing the game, doing the recording. You've got the graphics, you've got the editing of the videos that you do, and all the other bits and pieces, like the odd pop-ups that happen and things like this. And you learn things as you're about to do the recording. So just to put things in perspective, to give an example of my world that's done when we create these, the little snippet that I put where you actually had the copyright wrong on the back of the cassette that I showed for One Man and His Robot, that wasn't originally in this video. It was only when I was just looking at the cassette before I was about to start recording, you know, I sort of had the cassette here having a look at this, and then I look at the back and I think, oh, that's wrong. So with that being wrong, that is something that I could share on the video, something that I could talk about on the video, but that needed an additional graphic, because I'm blessed, I'm very lucky that I've been in a position to complete these collection of cassettes, and I wanted to, you know, show it to you, and I could have held it to the camera where it would have all been blurred, because no, don't do that. Stop, make a picture. If you're going to do it right, do it correctly, otherwise what is the point? So apologies that these videos are going to take a little longer to do, and although it's a series and this is effectively episode 1.2, you know, it's going to take a while. What we may do as well is we may jump forward, and you may have episode 2.1 where I do a your Sinclair or your Spectrum one. I don't know what category that will fall in, or a 3.1 if I do another one of those as well. But if you're enjoying these videos, you're enjoying the cover tape ones, you know, they have their own section, they will have their own file list, their own playlist effectively in YouTube, and they will always be put in there, and they will be labeled correctly as well, so you can see exactly where we are. On the prep for the videos, you know, other things just to share. The title image of this, that's done using a light box. So you get the actual cassette, you put the cassette within a light box, take a photo of it, do some editing of the pictures there, so you know you're seeing a picture of the real cassette on the title inlay. And it's just all the little things. You know, I'm a little bit OCD, and everything has to look the same in terms of presentation, how it is. And I'm also going a little bit mad on this level, trying to complete this level. Look at my time, it's almost run out. And yeah, we're going to get there though. I hope we're going to get there. You know, it's moving just slow enough, and I've only got to get 4 more blocks, I say out loud. Then I notice that it's actually 8 blocks because I've got the ones down below as well. So this doesn't look like it's going to be completed now, you know, but I will be going back to this game. This game is a brilliant game. This game is worth every single penny on that cassette. This game, you know, is a full price game in my eyes. So, Mr. Cook, thank you for this. Crash, thank you for this. And for some reason it's speeded up. So that isn't a health box, that's a speed box, that little plus. Look how fast the ball is moving now. But no, thank you very much for this. This is indeed a whole new ball game to me. I'm out of time. It's game over. I've had great value of money for this cassette, especially on the second half of it. You know, the Quadam and One Man and His Droid were not for me, but Robot Messiah and a whole new ball game was. And will I be playing both of these games? Yes, I will. So I'm going to sign out now. You look after yourselves, you stay safe. This is the GPC, put it in the high score, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Would you like to play again?
Hello there, it's me again. If you're a subscriber to this channel, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, then Zeus here would love you to subscribe. It makes him happy and it makes me happy. And if Zeus is happy, everybody is happy. Thank you very much. Stay safe, take care. Goodbye.